morning, beautiful people. Good morning. Rise and shine, y'all. Rise and shine. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Who's joining me this morning? Thank you guys for popping in here this morning. Coach Deborah, you are on a roll. You're on a roll, showing up early in the morning like this. Miss Tina Jones is in the house, y'all. Miss Tina, love and appreciate you all, man. If y'all haven't watched the video that was done with Miss Cynthia, you have to watch that. Watch it, share it. Man, Miss Cynthia, thank you for being who you are. Thank you for sharing your story with us. It was so good. So good. I'm going to go ahead and share it inside of this group so everybody will get a chance to see it. For those of you guys who are not affiliated with our Pathway of Life church page. Well, this morning we're continuing this teaching and we're dealing with the power of not tolerating what you should not accept. That's what I want to focus on this morning. The power of not tolerating what you should not accept. And so with that said, this morning we're continuing our series, Past, Present, Future. All of us have a past, all of us are in the present, and all of us are believing for a future. As a matter of fact, there's a statement we've coined here on Effective Living, and it goes like this: my future is brighter than my past. Did you hear me just now? I wonder how many of you can say that this morning with confidence. Write it in the comment section. Go for it. My future is brighter than my past. Good morning to each and every one of you. The goal here is to remind ourselves that we are responsible for doing some work to get us to where we're trying to go. When we look at our past, you got to study what's in it that you should be able to learn from. Okay? The past is really all about learning, man. I mean, it happened. It happened. Okay? It happened. And the question is, did I learn? Did I learn anything from my past? Did you hear the question, Brittany? Did I learn anything from my past? And then I am currently in the present. I'm here. I'm here. And being here, the question is, am I here? Hello. You know, you could be here, but the question is, are you here? Do you hear that, Angela? So this whole statement, my future is brighter than my past, speaks to the fact of, you know, better days are ahead of you. Boy, what? That's a blessing. Miss Tina, isn't that a blessing? That's a blessing, Angela. It's a blessing to know that it doesn't have to stay the same way that it's been. Ooh, man, come on. And even though some situations seems to be prolonged, it lasts a little bit longer than you thought it should have, no season is forever. Come on. Angela, write that down. You need that word right there. That's a good word right there, Brittany. No season is forever. Now, there are some seasons that are longer than others. But the truth of the matter is, no season is forever. And so with that said, here's the deal. Here's the deal. You got to know what you're not going to tolerate moving forward. When the seasons shift, your mindset should shift as well. Because if we don't be careful, we're bound to repeat the past because we didn't learn from it. Come on. May the Lord help us all not to repeat the mistakes of our past. May the Lord help us all to help us to not repeat the mistakes, the things, the issues, the experiences that we had no control over, but we experienced. May it all come to an end. May the statement, it came to pass. Minister Carol, it came to pass. In other words, it came, but it didn't stay. And I'm not going to hold on to it. And I'm not going to repeat it. I'm not going to allow myself to be every year, the same time every year, I'm dealing with the same old thing. And boy, am I frustrated. I'm not a rock. I can change. I don't have to keep experiencing the same thing. I could make some adjustments. And that's what a wise person would do. So this morning, I want you to write this down. Effective living is experienced when tolerance ends. I thought about this last night. It's really disrupted my spirit and really got me thinking, Brittany. Effective living, Coach Deborah, is experience. Effective living is experience when tolerance ends. When tolerance ends. Boy, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. What you tolerate won't change. What you tolerate won't change. Miller, I need some changes. I need some things to change. I'm here today to tell you with confidence, what you tolerate won't change. So I want all of us to lean into the statement, effective living is experience when tolerance ends, when tolerations end. When you get to the point where you realize, you know what? I don't want to experience that no more. You know, the power of not tolerating what you should not accept. That's real. And a lot of people haven't learned how to do that. I didn't know. I didn't know that there were some things I shouldn't tolerate. There are some things I shouldn't be about. Some things I shouldn't deal with. In this effective living journey, there comes a pivotal moment, Linda, when tolerance ends and true transformation begins. This is when you truly had enough. Now, how many of y'all can testify and say with confidence that oftentimes when you say, I've had enough, that actually is not when tolerance ended? You said that a few times because you still end up tolerating it. I've had enough, but you still tolerated it. I've had enough, but you still tolerated it. But boy, as I wrote here, watch this. There comes a pivotal moment when toleration ends and true transformation begins. Well, let's talk about this just for a couple of minutes. I only got 3 minutes to do this. Number one, define your boundaries. If you don't have any boundaries, you will be tolerating stuff that you should never have tolerated. If you don't have any boundaries. So number one, define your boundaries. Everybody should define their boundaries. Everybody should define their boundaries. Okay? Define your boundaries. Okay? What is my boundaries? See, because remember that pivotal moment when tolerance ends and true transformation begins. It's the moment you realize that's not going to work for me. I don't work like that. That's not healthy for me. That's not good for me. Define your boundaries. Everybody needs to define them. Clearly outline what is acceptable and what is not in your life. Now, I think you got children, you got grandchildren, you better learn. Teach those kids. Here's the deal. Get this from mama. Get this from papa. And listen, my mother, Eunice Miller, she was strong, man. She was strong and she had some boundaries, y'all. She had some boundaries and she set some standards, even though I was mad at her standards. Her standards were her standard, and her standards is what kept her. Come on. When life became hard and the children became knuckleheads, she had defined her boundaries. So here's the deal. Clearly outline what is acceptable and what is not acceptable in your life. Now, here's the deal, Jamal. There are a lot of people who will accept what you shouldn't accept. And not because they will accept it mean you should accept it. And some people have been conditioned to accept things that they know within their spirit, within their core, that's not what they're about. And they've been conditioned to accept what they shouldn't accept. Let me say it again. They've been conditioned to accept what they should not accept. And that's when you end up finding yourself, Miss Sybil, having to unlearn what you should have never learned. Because I've accepted it. I've accepted it. And then, people get, well, I had to get mad. Well, having no tolerance for doesn't mean you have to get mad unto sin. You can be angry and not sin. You can choose to be aware of the disturbance that's in your spirit that simply says, no, that's not going to work. Okay, so number one, define your boundaries. Clearly outline what is acceptable and what is not. Whether it is a toxic relationship, an unfulfilling work, or an unhealthy habit, identify what you refuse to tolerate any longer. So, write these down. A, toxic relationship. B, unhealthy work environments. C, unhealthy habits. And the list can go down. You can add some more. But I want you to grab a hold of this. A lot of people, oh my God, my work, my job is stressing me out. I don't like this place. But what? But I've been here 6 years. I've been here 10 years. I've been here 12 years. You don't have to tolerate that, you don't have to tolerate it. It just drains me, Miller. It just takes everything out of me. Well, why do I stay? Why do I stay? Because I've been there. Well, they got good insurance. Well, you're using up all your insurance. So A, toxic relationship. B, unhealthy work environment. C, unhealthy habits. Look at those boundaries that needs to be set. Unhealthy habits, you got to set some boundaries. I don't buy fast food after 7 p.m. I don't buy snacks at the counter. It's too marked up. You see what I'm saying? I don't do this. I don't do that. And then you have to have your why. You have to have your why. So remember now, A, toxic relationship. B, unfulfilling work, right? Unfulfilling work environment, and unhealthy habits is C. Okay, so you got to get to this point where you start to realize I'm in an unfulfilling work environment. I'm in an unfulfilling work environment. Oh Lord, this is not good. I have unhealthy habits. This is not good. Who's responsible for those? Ladies and gentlemen, who's responsible for those? Y'all talk to me. I'm the teacher this morning. Who's responsible? Jamal, who is responsible for dealing with toxic relationships? Who is responsible for dealing with unhealthy work environments? Who's responsible for dealing with unhealthy habits in one's life? Who's responsible? Who's responsible? I want you all to understand that along the way, you have to identify what is considered an area of your life where you have not established boundaries, and boundaries need to be established in those areas. Okay, so define your boundaries. You are responsible. Well, let me see what my mama think about my boundaries. No, you are responsible for your boundaries. As a matter of fact, before you make a life partner, you need to talk to them and say, hey, I have boundaries. Do you have boundaries? Let's talk about boundaries. Okay, things that are unacceptable. Then here's you are, boy, Miller, I already got a partner. We never talk about boundaries. Then let's go ahead and enrich our relationship to let's start now talking about boundaries. Because moving forward, for us to survive and to thrive, we're gonna need to have some boundaries. You all know that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff right there. Okay. All right. Number two. Okay. Number two, and I'm done almost, guys. Number two, take actions. Take action. We're talking this morning about the power of not tolerating what you should not accept. There are some things you shouldn't accept, but watch this. Take action is number two. Once you've set your boundaries, take decisive action. Take decisive action from every decision that you declare. Enforce them. Okay? Enforce them. Whether it is having a difficult conversation, which a lot of people are afraid of, making necessary changes about the habits, or saying no when needed. Now, I don't know about you, but some people don't know, Angela, how to say no. When some people say no, it is when grievances is hit in at its highest and they're now upset and mad. And you don't have to get mad. You're grown. I'm 48 years old and I should be able to say no. As a matter of fact, I haven't had to say no in a long time. Because your boundaries could be so defined, Miss Jocelyn, your boundaries could be so defined, you don't even have to worry about it. So much things people won't even approach you with. As a matter of fact, even the devil gets to the point of realizing, oh, he has overcome that, he has overcome that, he's overcome that. Oh, you can't come to him like that. You can't come. No. Take action. Number 2 is take action. Okay. Whether it is having a difficult conversation and we need to talk. Anybody have ever had one of those? We need to talk. Man, I'm telling you, I start to shake in my boots when Karen says, hey, we need to talk. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. What do we need to talk about? How many of y'all know that's something else right there? But how many of y'all know you could do that? Well, they don't want to talk, Miller. Well, you may need to have boundaries in regards to telling them until you're prepared to talk, we may not need to talk at all. Right? Take actions. Go ahead and start realizing what are the necessary changes that needs to take place. I need to stop doing drive-through. I don't do fast food during the week. Or I like what Brady Robinson has, the no spend days. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, I don't spend money if I don't have to. I pay my bills. I get paid on Thursday. I pay my bills on Friday and Saturday. Sunday, I sow a seed. I tithe. I give offering. But then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I have no spend days. In other words, it's like fasting. It's intermittent fasting for money. I'm learning how to put this thing under control. I'm tired of being broke, sick, and frustrated. Okay? Last but not least, guys. Last but not least, write this down. Number 3, cultivate self-respect. Cultivate self-respect. When we look, Joanne, back at our past, when we look at our present and we're setting ourselves up for the future, which is what we're focusing on this week, you got to know, you got to realize, number 3, cultivate self-respect. Who has the cultivate self-respect? Who has the cultivate self-respect? You do. Who? Now, here's the deal. The thing about cultivating self-respect, Joanne, is that a lot of people say I respect myself, but they haven't defined respect. Oh man, I respect myself. Have you defined what self-respect is? Have you really done the work to establish what those are to ensure that you are in a good place when it comes to being your best self? So as I close this out this morning, I want to go recap, okay? Along the way, after you've studied your past, after you've moved into the present, you want an incredible future, you've got to, 1, set boundaries. 2, take actions on the boundaries you have set. And 3, you have to cultivate self-respect. I am doing this because it is what's best for me. Shat-ta-ta. I feel that, Joanne. Good to see you this morning. Miss Sybil, I feel that all in my spirit. And I'm just trying to help, okay? By refusing to tolerate what you shouldn't accept, you open the door to a life filled with purpose, fulfillment, and genuine happiness. There will be no better when when you have not addressed what you've been tolerating. Okay? If you want the best of your life to be experienced, you have to identify what is it that you've been tolerating that you should not have been tolerating, that is keeping you back from being your best self. God bless you guys. I will see you all back tomorrow as we continue to dive into this subject matter, dealing with past, present, and future. Today was embrace the change, the power of not tolerating what you should not accept. And there are some things some of your family members are going to be upset about because you're going to say, no. I don't lend money like that anymore. I don't do this no more. You can't just come in my house and go in my refrigerator, man. You can't just take my car and bring it back on E, okay? No, you can't talk to my kids like that. No, you can't talk to me like that. Hello? No. I need win-win. John Wells, I need win-win. I'm not going to be taking advantage of Denola. I'm not going to be taking advantage of Brittany. I want to study the decisions I've been making and I ask myself, is this right? Is this healthy? Is this, watch this, y'all, is this God approved? Ooh, that's the word for the day. Walk away thinking the decisions I make today, Minister Carol, the decisions I make today, I need to ask myself, is this God approved? And I believe the God approved decisions are the decisions that leads to win-win. If it's not a win-win, learn to say no deal. God bless you guys. Bye-bye.